Hi, my name is Samuel James Price, the Crypto Lifer, and every single Friday I give you your macro technical analysis video. We do Bitcoin, we do total, the entire market cap of crypto, total 3, the entire market cap of crypto excluding Bitcoin and Ethereum, S&P futures, the NASDAQ futures, Bitcoin dominance, Tether dominance, gold, and the DXY. Get ready, we're going to show you what's happening to this macro market. And I've had this prediction on the S&P that's starting to come true. Let's take a look. So we go to the weekly for Bitcoin. I want to show you some serious signals that are brewing right now for BTC. One thing that is a very strong signal that most people overlook because it takes years of trading to kind of get to know the signal and to use it efficiently is hidden bullish divergence. Right now, Bitcoin has got an uptrend with a higher low, while it is a lower low on the RSI with low stochastics. When you pull the Fibonacci as well, you see that we've come to the golden pocket 618. That is a coincidence. And there's no such thing as a coincidence. That tells me there's likely a bounce, which we did bounce right off the 618. That was the perfect buy zone for the Fib traders. People are still in that bottom and be able to catch this all the way to the upside for BTC. I've been trading in and out of it because that's what I do. And we've been making boatloads. We had a huge gain last night into this morning. And now it looks like Bitcoin may continue. So the big deal is this. This is a bullish sign for Bitcoin on the weekly. All we need is Sunday night for this candle to close green with a tweezer bottom as such, and we could be in for a massive reversal back for Bitcoin. Another thing is the tight moving averages. See when the moving average got tight here, big pump for Bitcoin. The moving averages got tight here, big pump for Bitcoin. The moving averages are slowly starting to get tight again. If they can consolidate and we can turn this into some type of shoulder, head, right shoulder, look, we'll turn this into like a nice ascending triangle, and then Bitcoin can be on its way for a beautiful move to the upside. And there you have Bitcoin headed back up to about $167,000 by August. So it's not all bearish for Bitcoin. This reversal is strong, and I like what we're seeing. What do we need to solidify this? We need to see the daily close a candle above this 200 MA, this yellow line. How do you have your 200 MA? Go up here, type in MA. All right, it's going to add a moving average right there, moving average simple. What I would even suggest is go here and type in CBC and type in CBC 5MA DRS by Deepak R. Sabu. That's going to give you my 5 moving averages. See right there, the 21, but you'll get the 200 yellow right there, just like mine, and that you won't have to do anything else. All right, so that's going to help you and solidify that. So once we get above the 200 MA and we close a candle, that's a very strong signal that we will get a reversal to the upside. Bitcoin also has bullish div on the daily, which helped me call somewhat of a bottom here since we've been, bouncing off these key wicks. So I've been long and calling longs and been trading long very well. We've made actually a lot of money off of this reversal. If Bitcoin could continue to reverse, we're going to head back up to 92,000 right there, 92.6. The next big area is 98,000, and then we crack right through 106,000. There's only 2 big resistance areas before we get back to that all-time high region for Bitcoin on the daily time frame. So I'm bullish on Bitcoin on the daily time frame. I want to see it close a candle above the 200 MA. The 1 hour today pumped pretty hard. It looks like we may come back down. We may come and rest somewhere around 83.5, find some support before we bounce again. But I'd like to see if the daily candle can close above the 200 MA today or tomorrow. That would be a very bullish sign. And we want to make sure that the weekly candle closes with this wick intact. Make sure that they close with this, this close and that open are parallel intact. And that will be a very bullish sign for Bitcoin. And we're still in tune to go up, like I showed you, do basically 167,000 even into August. So I'm bullish on Bitcoin. But what we need is the weekly candle to close green. We need the daily to close above the 200 MA. If next week, even like by Monday or Tuesday, where 1 or 2 candles are above here, there's likely that when I show up, we're going to be somewhere at we could even be at 100. We could be anywhere between 98 and 105,000 when I show up next week doing this macro analysis. If anything, it looks like we'll at least come and get rejected by 91.5. If we are bearish, we'll get rejected. But if we're bullish, we'll break through that. I see us higher than we are now, though, when I show up next week for the macro technical analysis video for Bitcoin. Let's look at the total market cap in all of cryptocurrency and see what's happening. Same thing for total market cap. Exact same idea. And what I really like is I look at this just on the weekly. It's really the only time frame I need, because weekly support or resistance is key. And you can see that we came right back down to the previous resistance and used it as support. We are bouncing beautifully right here on the weekly time frame. That is also a bull flag that suggests we can get a nice move to the upside. So when the weekly is oversold in the Stokes, You have a Fibonacci retracement from this wick to that wick to the golden pocket. You have hidden bullish divergence as well. Like I showed you on Bitcoin, we also have it here on the total market cap. That is a known signal for me that we are going to get a bounce. That's why I would be DCAing heavily into altcoins, because if you lose that, then that's like a known signal of mine that I've used for years. So if you lose that, it would be a bit odd. Also, if you look at it, it's still in a giant cup and handle that just hasn't hit the target yet, right? This would be the cup. This would be the handle that it broke out of. And, you know, nothing goes straight up. And you would basically take this giant wick. And this says, yeah, you're not even at the target yet of the cup and handle. That's somewhere at $4.89 trillion. So total market cap looks good to me. It says we'll be higher than we are today next week when I do this macro analysis. Total market cap for altcoins, same suggestion, same idea. It's this falling wedge, right? You have hidden bullish divergence too as well. Oversold. You're in a Fibonacci retracement. I'd like to see this consolidate. But again, even so, just if this bull flag breaks out, it looks like the altcoins are going to go up and then make a new all-time high somewhere at $1.42 trillion. Maybe we come up and we consolidate first. Either one is a bullish sign, whether we consolidate or pump all the way. I'm bullish on the fact that altcoins should be getting a bounce by next week. And it says by next week, we all should be rejoicing. You were scared. You were scared. And the market, bull market, should actually be continuing to the upside. Let's take a look at the DXY and see what's happening to, actually, we'll go to Bitcoin dominance first, right? Usually how I do it. So we'll take a look at Bitcoin dominance. If Bitcoin is bullish, Bitcoin dominance is going to look like it's going to erupt to the upside. The week is a little high, but I've seen when you cross the weekly, a big move coming. And look at, you see the 4-hour time frame here out of this flag? So there's a bigger rising wedge here that wants to break out. And then there's this 4-hour flag that looks super bullish. This tells me Bitcoin is going to run and is going to take the show. Like, you know, altcoins aren't going to run as hard as Bitcoin. It says Bitcoin will steal the show. Bitcoin dominance will pump to the upside. So this suggests that Bitcoin's going to run up as Bitcoin dominance takes more dominance out of the market. When people realize, I should have got more Bitcoin under 100K. Once it cracks 100K again, that fear of missing out is going to kick in so hard and people are going to wish that they bought more. It's just how it is. The daily, again, overbought with bearish divergence. You can see the RSI pointing down while price action's pointing up. It tells us that we're going to dump on the DXY, on the Bitcoin, on US Tether dominance, which is basically DXY, but not exactly. But this is Tether dominance. How much money is in Tether? And that's a rising wedge about to collapse. And this says that people are going to run out. I mean, if the market rips like it's going to, people are going to run out of their Tether. So I'm looking for the shoulder, the head, possible right shoulder, and a dump to the downside there for Tether dominance. This is setting up for a good move for the altcoins and Bitcoin. We take a look at the DXY. And the DXY is setting up in this bear flag as we suggested it would. And this is a great sign. It's below the daily 200 MA, which is when you enter a bear market. So Tether dominance has entered a bear market. It's below the daily 200 MA. That's a bearish sign. Bitcoin just getting back above it. If Bitcoin gets above it and rips, this is going to dump so hard. Why would you want to be in Tether when Bitcoin's ripping above the daily 200 MA? Horrible, horrible idea, right? So the probabilities are against you. Go backtest that stuff. The probabilities would tell you that you're making a horrible decision by not longing BTC. So this says that this could go lower for sure, and this is setting up great on the DXY. We take a look at the S&P futures. I've been calling a bounce on the S&P. People calling me nuts. Look at this. I've been saying this is going to be a head and shoulder. Right there, I couldn't believe they didn't bounce it. Then they faked it. Then they got it a little more, but they bounced it back up. 5,600, and you can see there's a very nice, strong support right there. We've bounced numerous times. We bounced there. We kind of wicked through it. We got very close to that area again, that key area for a bounce. Didn't even break it. I see an inverted head and shoulder. It tells me when I show up next week, we will have cracked the 200 MA on the daily time frame, and we'll be back somewhere up in here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 days. We could be somewhere at about 58, 57, 50. I see a bounce for the S&P. I'm calling it right now. I'm saying to buy right now with a stop below that head. They're going to print this money. They're going to go into heavy money printing. Stocks are going to go up in value. Then they're going to cut the rates, and it's going to be a perfect environment for risk on assets. I've been saying this the whole time, right? And so, right, I mean, I'm just saying, right? People will be calling me daddy at this point after I make this call. Let's take a look at the NASDAQ, the NQ, and see what's happening to the NASDAQ. Same exact idea for the NASDAQ. I'm predicting a vicious pump back to the upside here for the NASDAQ. They shredded liquidity, but it doesn't look like they got enough of the piece of the pie there, right? And there's too many people that are going to have access to cheap money. See, to keep the economy alive, they have to give people access to cheap money. When they give access to cheap money, people are going to rush into the stock market. They can't have it both ways. This tells me that there's going to be money printing, and there's going to be people jumping on into the stock market. Look for this to also make a beautiful head and shoulder back to the upside, and the S&P will carry on to my bigger target by next October. And this is calling September 2025, October, to 27,000 and new all-time highs for the NASDAQ. I think I said the S&P for the NASDAQ. You can see they look exactly the same, the NASDAQ and the S&P. It does not matter. Completely correlated. And last but not least, gold, baby, gold. I've been going over gold for you for weeks at a time. I told you gold was bullish here. Remember when I used to show you this giant cup and handle for gold back in the day? Look at this one. We go to like the 3-day chart. But I used to show you the cup that started in 2012 and ended in 2020, an 8-year cup. There was your handle. It suggested you were going to rip to the upside. You probably saw me. I used to point this out to you guys all the time. I said, look at these cup and handles. This thing is going to rip. And boy, did gold rip, right? Out the cup and handle. But we knew this. Go back to my channel 2-3 years ago. You can see me making this call, drawing the cup and handle for gold. Pretty awesome, man. That's why they call me Sammy, Cup and Handy. So these calls are starting to get pretty crazy. And I'm going to get famous for these ones, man. I'm telling you. Look at this. Gold pumping to the upside out of this tight moving averages. The point of control. This is what I teach my students in my class that I do at the last Saturday of every month. If you see the QR code on that link there, I teach class the last Saturday of every month where I teach all these awesome strategies. Jump on into class today. It's $150. People are charging $2,000 to $3,000 for that same information. So gold pumping beautifully. What a nice move for gold. And now all you want to see is gold just consolidate, form a flag, and I see gold continuing. I mean, if they're going to print this money, if the dollar's going down, you know gold's going to continue. Gold today at an all-time high, hitting $3,000 an ounce, and I see it headed to $31.43 by the end of March for gold. So I see a big move for gold, and I predicted it. It's going exactly to plan. Everybody, thank you so much for watching my macro technical analysis video. I do it every single Friday, and it shows you where we're likely to be next week. I can't wait for you to come back next week to see how good the analysis was. It's only a matter of time till we get these bounces and they print this money. Shout out to everybody here. Thank you so much for watching. Please comment, like, and subscribe. Hit the bell for notifications. You can find out when I post my next video. Remember, if you came to the channel, then you're already doing the right thing. I live stream every single day, Monday through Friday, 10 a.m. to 12 p.m., and Saturday and Sunday nights at 8 p.m. Also do a impromptu update somewhere between 8 and 10 on the weekends. I love you all. I thank you so much for being here, and I'll see you on the next video. If you came to the channel, then you're already doing the right thing. Crypto is life.